Since I'm still here at the hospital, I have nothing better to do than to tell you the traumatic birthing story I just went through. So I just had a New Year's baby because I was induced because, I was gonna die. New Year's Eve, we were making plans to go out with my sister, one last hoorah before I have a baby. But no, I ended up feeling kind of weird. I take my blood pressure and my blood pressure was like skyrocketing, 168 over like 100. So I was like, you know what, let me take a shower. Maybe I've been eating too many tamales, something, right? I go into the shower, relax, come back out. My blood pressure is at 178 over 118. I ain't no doctor, but I Googled it and they were like, you about to be in heaven. Towards the end of this pregnancy, I started struggling with high blood pressure. It wasn't this extreme high like on New Year's Day. So my doctor was already monitoring me closely. She was like, if anything changes, if it goes higher, call me. So I call my doctor. Brr! Hello, yeah, so my blood pressure is at this and that. And she's like, bring your hospital bag because you might get induced. Sure enough, I get to the hospital, they take my blood pressure, boom, it's still high. Immediately, they give me medication to lower my blood pressure and then they put me on this other medication called magnesium sulfate. I am not no biologist, chemist, doctor, but this medication has to come from hell itself. Yes, this medication will save your life from having seizures and dying, but it also makes you feel like you're in the pits of hell, burning. You're literally swollen. Your cheeks are on fire. Every hour I rub chapstick on my lips and they're still dry. Start feeling like you're gonna pass out. As long as you're on this medication, nothing stops it. I was on it for like 37 hours. They had to bring a fan out so I could have a fan as I'm going through contractions because I'm getting induced. So I'm in pain. I'm burning up. I'm scared because I don't know if I'm gonna die. I'm literally here begging God to help me because I'm freaking out. So instead of doing the New Year's Day countdown, I am here counting down all of the reasons why I am never gonna get pregnant again. Now it was time to pop this baby out. And honestly, that part wasn't that difficult because I told them to give me the epidural ASAP. There are so many women that are like, oh my God, I could never take the epidural. I did it natural. Okay, that's good that you wanted to suffer, but me on the other hand, what do I look like? Now it was time to push this baby out. She would have came out way faster, but tell me why she was trying to come out with her hands like this. Sis is a prayer warrior since the womb. See, this is another reason why I'm glad I had the epidural, because the doctor had to go in there, push her hands back down so she could come out with her head and not tear me up more than what she was already doing. It honestly took like 7 pushes to take her out. She would have came out in 3 if she wouldn't have been prayed up. But I still had to stay in the hospital with that medicine burning me up. I couldn't eat for 3 days just to make sure I wasn't going to die from the high blood pressure. I get released on Tuesday. I'm like, I'm happy to go home, take a shower because your girl stinks. And honestly, at home, I didn't feel that good, but I thought it was just the medication that had me tripping. I was like, yeah, I'm just all torn up. I probably don't feel good. But Friday, I was like, I'm starting to get a pain like right here. Like my kidneys don't feel good. Saturday, I was like, you know what? For the jokes and giggles, let me take my blood pressure. Why is my blood pressure back at 178 over like 114? So I call my gynecologist. I'm like, yo, why is this happening again? I thought I popped out the problem. Well, I thought wrong because you could get it again after having the baby. So they rushed me in on Saturday night again. They're putting emergency blood pressure medication to lower my blood pressure. It doesn't lower it. At this point, I'm having a panic attack. I'm looking at a newborn baby. I'm like, I can't leave her alone in this world. I have my daughter with me, my husband with me. I'm just like freaking out. They're like, okay, we're going to start mag so you don't go into a seizure. So here I am, transported again to the pits of hell because magnesium is the only thing that can prevent you from dying. So I've been in the hospital since Saturday night. Today is Wednesday. Because even though my blood pressure got under control, my liver wanted to spice things up and skyrocket my liver functions, which could like lead to liver failure or something,
I got cheated on and I apologized because he cheated on me. Let's talk about it. So I was dating this guy. He's exactly 6 years older than me. And yes, this is the same guy that stole $4,000 from me. Just a little backstory if you haven't seen my previous story times. This guy stalked me for about 3 months. And he was like a very jealous person. Like, I used to work at a restaurant and he would be jealous of my coworkers. Fast forward, it was Christmas. We were supposed to spend some time together, but he was like, oh no, I have to go spend time with my aunt. I always spend Christmas with her because her husband died and she's very lonely, blah, blah, blah. It was Christmas Day and he decided he was going to bring my Christmas gift to my job. So he went to the restaurant, gave me my Christmas gift and was like, I'll see you tomorrow. So after my 12-hour shift at the restaurant, I go home and I'm like, okay, well, let me just, go to bed because I'm not going to see anyone. Well, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. Mind you, I had to go to work the next day because, yes, I worked at a restaurant and I worked all the time. It was 2 o'clock in the morning and he's like, hey, I'm outside. Can you open the door? Pause. I lived with 2 other roommates and my roommate's bedroom was literally right next to her because I could hear her with her boyfriend. So he comes inside. He's like, oh, I'm going to take a shower. I haven't showered since 12 in the afternoon. And I'm like, okay. I go back to bed. I want to say like maybe half an hour after he got there and he was like already sleeping. Like he took a shower, he was sleeping. His phone is like going off, like text message, text message, text message. The text messages said, hey, thank you so much for the gifts that you got my kids. They really liked it. I'm getting ready to go to work now. I love you so much. And thanks for giving me my Christmas gift as well. With a little plant emoji. You know that little eggplant emoji? Yeah. I'm running out of time. Go to part 2. So me being who I am, I answered back and I'm like, this is his girlfriend. He's sleeping right now. And who are you? And she didn't believe me. Like she was like, oh, let's call him Dennis. Oh, Dennis, please stop joking around with me. I have to go to the hospital right now. She was like an RN, a nurse. And I have to go to the hospital right now and I'm not up for your games. And we just kept going back and forth because I was like in shock. She's like, please stop joking around with me, blah, blah. Let me know when you're coming home next. I'm like, coming home? Does he live with you? But I know he didn't live with her because he has his own house. So I decided to wake him up because at this point I was so pissed. And I'm like, who is this girl that's texting you? Because you said that you couldn't spend time with me today, Christmas, because you were at your aunt's house, but you were actually bringing her kids gifts. This guy threw a whole tantrum. Like literally like a 5-year-old. Like you took a lollipop from a 5-year-old. So he starts like getting super loud and I'm like, I need you to calm down because I live with roommates and it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're yelling. And he's like, talk to me like that again and I'm going to call the cops. And I'm like, what? Like I was so confused. And I'm like, but tell me who she is. Like, I need to know who she is. Like, do you want to be in another relationship? Like, we can just break up right now. Like, I really don't care. I really don't care. He immediately unlocked his phone and called the cops on me. At my own apartment. So he's on the phone with the cops, with the operator, and he's saying that I won't let him leave, like that I'm holding him hostage in my apartment. And I'm like, that is so not true. Like trying to like, let the operator know that that's like not true. And it was a woman. And I know she had my back because no cops came. He decided he wanted to smash his little phone. So he left my house, smashed his phone right in front of my house, left it there because next day I saw it there. Around lunchtime, he called me and he's like, I really need you to apologize for going through my phone and seeing messages that you have no business seeing. So I apologized for going through his phone. I proceeded to stay with him until February of the following year. Before anyone comes for me, I was very lonely. I had no family close to me. I had just moved from Dominican Republic to here and again, literally had no one.